I'm Lisa Brown, Senate Majority Leader, and I'm joined here today by several of my colleagues, Senator Murray, our caucus chair, Senator Prentice, chair of the Ways and Means Committee, Senator Rodney Tom, the vice chair, and Senator Rockefeller, who serves on the Ways and Means Committee and is also chair of Environment, Water, and Energy. We've also got several staff here with us today. After several sleepless nights, they're looking pretty good. I want to thank them for their help with this budget that we're announcing today. The state budget, as we've said before, is a moral document. It's really a document about people. Many of us were home this past weekend, either at town hall meetings or interacting with our friends and families, and so we carry at the top of our heads and in our hearts what this document means to them and in their lives, whether it's some of our friends and family members who are unemployed or struggling in a small business like my sister and brother-in-law in Tacoma, or our children that are headed out into the world and wondering what opportunities will be there for them. Especially this year, the budget is no less than the vision of the future that we want to see for Washington State, because in a tough economic time, it really does provide the blueprint for our hopes and aspirations for our communities. The good news is that today we are presenting a balanced budget. And I feel it bears repeating because this is an era where the public often associates government with unbalanced budgets and deficits. But at the state level here in Washington State, we balance the budget every year. And this year is no exception. Our budget, however, this year is balanced to a new reality as we are still struggling in the midst of this national and international economic downturn that is affecting so many of our families and businesses. As you know, our state has been in the middle of the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. And like in 47 other states, this has created a revenue crisis of unprecedented proportions. Last year, we balanced the budget with a $9 billion hole. And we were able to accomplish that without raising taxes. This is partly due to the help of federal stimulus dollars, but also due to the tough cuts that were taken, reforms that were initiated, and sacrifices that were made across the spectrum of the programs that state government supports, from schools to colleges to public health and safety programs. So last year, that included over $3 billion in real and difficult reductions in services to healthcare, education, public safety, and the rest. I think it also bears mentioning that the two-year budget last year was actually smaller by $1 billion than the budget before it. And this is the first time that's happened since 1951 in our state. I'm not particularly proud of this fact, but we cut more than any legislature, led by Democrats or Republicans, in state history. And we did it because the economy was still in the midst of turning down, and we felt that that was the responsible solution for those times. Everyone knows that the economic situation, while it might be looking a little bit better, we are still not out of the dark. So today we're presenting another balanced budget, but it's not an all-cuts budget this time. Some have suggested an all-cuts approach. Others have suggested raising as much as $1.5 billion to fill the gap. The approach that we've chosen after a lot of deliberation with our colleagues in the Senate and their communications with people in their communities and districts across the state is one we think is balanced and responsible. There will be further reforms, there will be further reductions in state services, and there will be revenues as well. It's a balanced approach, and one we think that reflects both the need to give investments and opportunities for the future especially for our students, but also further prevent the dismantling of public institutions that families depend on at a time when they most need them. So I'm going to turn this over next to Senator Tom, then Senator Prentice will follow, and then turning to the revenue side of the equation and the reforms and pieces there, Senator Rockefeller and Senator Murray.